So step one of making a pivot table is that we need to figure out what it is exactly that we're trying to accomplish. So this might be our boss coming to us and asking us for certain information or something like that. So we have to ask ourselves a couple questions. What is it that we're trying to measure? And then how do we want to see it? And the first question will tell us what fields we need to use. And the second question will tell us where we need to place the fields, depending on how we want the results to display. So the first thing to do, I've decided that I wanted to see the state fields with so I'm going to use the state value. So I want to see the value of their import and export by state. So I actually have a couple fields that I'm going to use, 3 fields actually. So then what you do is you go to Insert and pick Pivot Table. And a lot of these sections are already going to be defaulted for us, but you do want to go ahead and check and make sure that it has the right table range, which mine does, and then it defaults to a new worksheet. The text explains that most of the time you probably don't want it in any other location, but if you did, you do have the option to change that. Go ahead and hit OK. Now once it does this, it's going to give us just a basic layout, which that's all I'm doing right now because this is actually the first time I've ever done a pivot table. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and pick my fields. I'm going to pick my state and the value. And you'll see that Excel automatically fills in where it thinks I want this to go. And this actually does give me some cool information. It basically tabulated all of the value for every state. Now, the thing is, though, is once I got to looking at this, I realized that it doesn't separate import versus export. So I think that would be kind of neat to see. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put up here the trade type, which in my previous jing I said was either 1 for export or 2 for import. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. Now see, when I do that, it tries to automatically sum it because it noticed that they were numbers. So I'm going to go ahead and bring it over here to the rows. And when I do that, you'll see that it added a layer underneath each state with a 1 or a 2. So now that I know what each 1 and 2 means, I now have a pivot table that shows me by state, by import and export, their total values.